So when it says the situations, so we've got the heights of women here, and as you can see, this perfect middle represents the mean, which again, that mean represents the average. So according to this graph, it is saying that the average height of women is 63.7 inches, which would put you at 5'3", which is actually kind of shocking in my opinion. But whatever. So, um, 5'3" looks like that would be the average um, height for women in the U.S. And notice that is not the same thing as the median. Okay, so median that comes into play where you were if you took all the women in the U.S., put all their heights in a straight line, and you pick the perfect middle number. That is not the same thing as the mean. Okay, it might be, it could possibly be the same, but it is not guaranteed. So again, specifically, that is talking about the mean or the average, that perfect center, that 63.7. So when we look at the area, what this is actually pointing to right here, this 0.303, it's saying that 30% or 30.3% of women in the US are between 63 inches, 63.7 to be specific, and 66 inches. Okay. Um, so I want you to take a second and apply that same concept to right down here. I'll give you some time to think about it before I give the answer away. But this little purple section that I'm coloring over in the green, that purple section, what is that specifically referring to? Um, I'll stop talking for about 10 seconds. Hopefully, you got a chance to kind of replicate it off the green over there. And that's saying that 3.4%, so not 34%, um, but 3.4% of women are between 57.4 and 59.1. Okay, so that's kind of how this area works. I'm gonna do another area in red right here, and I want you to maybe in the chat you can do it privately. I don't care, or you can say it out loud. What percentage of women are less than 63.7? That's what I'm trying to color in red right here. What percentage of women are shorter than 63.7? If you had to guess, any guess is helpful. So as I stare in the chat, the people saying out 50%, yes, that's exactly what we want. Hopefully you're seeing that it's perfectly symmetrical. It's half, great job. So that red section would mean that half of women are below 63.7, which in a normal distribution is interchangeable with, okay, then that means the mean is 63.7. Okay. Like I said, usually what I've always seen is like if I did it in a new color like this blue, it's only ever been shaded like to the right in blue right there, or to the left in orange, like the whole thing. It doesn't really come up a whole lot where it's just like a random sliver like it's got. So just kind of be aware that this is a good way to explain what's happening, but might not actually be the like way you're going to see it all the time. So if we answer these questions based off that data set now, what's the mean height for American women? We would say 63.7 inches. Um, and then what percentage of women are between 57 and 59? We already said that that was 3.4%. Again, notice that it was a decimal and we converted it to a percentage. That's what we did last week. Um, and so now we're doing something a little bit different here. It says there are 31,806 women at a football game. How many of them would you expect to be between 63.7 and 66 inches tall? So if we go back up here, we've already decided that 33% of women are there. Sorry, 30.3. I said 33. If I ever say anything wrong, I think I already said this. If I ever say anything wrong, but write something else, you should probably assume I meant what I wrote down. Because sometimes, the words aren't great. But a lot of people might want to just say, boom, that's your answer. But it's asking for 30.3% of 31,806 women. So if you remember from the last couple weeks, that of usually means multiply. So we are going to multiply 303 times 31,806 into our calculators, and we are going to get 9,637 women. Okay, so that's kind of how you would use that information to figure that out. So hopefully that's making a little bit of sense there. And it's this last one: what percentage of women are taller than 66 inches? So got some thinking involved right there. So if we come back up here, what percentage of women are taller than 66? So 66 is right here. You guys already dropped in the chat that earlier that this whole red section is 50%. We already decided that the green is 30%. So for people that are taller than 66 inches, that would be just this blue section over here. So hopefully you're saying that I would want to figure out, okay, what does that blue area represent? And if the red is 50%, the green is 30%, that means that blue represents 20% of women. We got a question in the chat possibly. So we would actually want to add the 50 and the 30. So somebody put it privately in the chat. We want to add 50 and 30 to see that this, maybe the colors are getting a little wild and I apologize, but that this whole black area, so that would be the green plus the red, the black area is representing 80% or 80.3%, and the blue is representing 20%.
Would we have an issue there if we didn't include that 0.3%? I mean, would it need to be exact, or can you estimate?
That's a good question. I would, the answer key says 19.7. If you got it wrong, like on your first attempt on Alex, I would make sure I'm rounding. But just for the sake of explaining, I'm trying to just keep the numbers more round. But if you're asking what I would do, I would put 19.7 into Alex. If you're asking what my specific answer would be when I put it in to the computer. So hopefully that's making a little bit of sense on how to round and how to, or not round, but how to like break apart the bell curve there. So again, 20% of women would be taller, or if you didn't round, it would be 19.7%. Hopefully that answered your question.